Yeah, hi. Today is the 20. Hold on, please. Time is about 8:43. I can't even figure out what today's date is. Hold on. The 22nd of July. So, woke up in the morning, headed straight to work because I randomly decided to take a break from the gym this week, 7 days. I was yesterday. I didn't record. I didn't record. So I think I made my upload this morning because I came back very exhausted yesterday. I was kind of pissed, but I'm grateful that I was able to watch my expression while I was pissed yesterday because a lot of things happened. I made a big mistake as to timing for I'll say for a movie shoot yesterday. But what threw me off balance was the response I was basically getting. But I'm grateful that I was able to like push some thoughts aside because I maintained a positive attitude until I got triggered. But well, I think I played it cool. Um, and it went away. So I basically came back having a lot of different thoughts while I was driving, was very distracted while driving and basically entered my morning. But the moment I got to my desk to work about 4 a.m., it became good. Work as usual. So let's see. Uh this morning today, for some very strange reasons, the internet got cut off again. While there was internet throughout the entire weekend, just got cut off. So I think today I had a meeting with the team, and then first of all we spoke about the enterprise plan because that's something that we are heavily into, or something we promise to get into very much. The enterprise aspect going well. Um, we are here to remove our ex team members from platforms that we are paying for. I couldn't do that today because when I was done before, while I was still working, almost done with work, the network got interrupted, so it was just restored about an hour or two ago. So the first thing I'm going to do is continue the work I do. I mean, I'm going to sacrifice sleep. It's part of the sacrifices we make, and as usual, it's just temporary. So I'm going to like have these clients who are trying to onboard, but for some weird reasons, I just let him on pause. So I want to just make sure that I'm done with that, so I can at least wake up in the morning and go heavy on a lot of tasks for tomorrow. Um, so I'm also grateful that I want to celebrate the fact that I was able to take breaks. I mean, before the internet went off, I was taking like good breaks, like I'll work, achieve something, then take a break. Because back in the days, you just work, 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 and I got to realize that the quality of my work was actually down, and it's really affected my health. So taking rest these days is actually a win for me. I mean, because of this mentality of grind, 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 grind. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of grinding so hard if the health is the risk? I think not supposed to say this, but looking at my dad's story, trust me, he loved his work because outside of work, he didn't like to be outside of work. He loved his work. But I would say the work took a toll on his health. And I got to realize that when you overwork yourself, you get stressed. And when you get stressed, a lot of things begin to happen that you do not really know why. So sorry, a content idea just jumped into my head. So I want to like take that down, write it down. The content idea is the mindset of a beginner. The mindset of a beginner. I think it's a topic that I think I like to talk about because a lot of people are afraid to like start something new. Very afraid to start something new. And something that I think you're going to have to embrace if you want to become a full stack man. Because the idea is it's okay to be a beginner at anything, but provided you just do it consistently, you make progress. At some point, it becomes second nature, and people will be like, "Wow, he's so talented, he's so gifted." But it also the struggles you're going through. So scripting the beginner mindset. So yeah, okay. So I just shot a video today. The name of the video was how to think critically. Funny enough, it's easy to think critically. So you might as well wait for the video to come out. Let me see what else that I did today. Yeah, for some weird reasons, while I was taking my break, I tried to look at Secret Service and what they have to say. So also, I discovered that at this moment, they are currently speaking to the Secret Service director. Because after looking at Trump's story, you would get to realize that you would definitely get to realize that he Trump was. I'm looking for the right phrase to use. Trump was lucky because that attempt, if you look at it very well, you could tell that it was not a service failure. It felt like it was intentional. I mean, the whole putting incompetent people on the team. It was not really incompetent, sorry, because if it's by design, then it's not incompetent. It's looking at somebody carrying a gun, climbing a rooftop, and bear calling. You are waiting for him to make the first shot. Intentionally means that they were making a huge risk that this guy might as well kill the president, the other ex-president. So, like I said, I after looking at it, I'm kind of convinced that it was deliberate. It was very, very deliberate. But like I said, a lot of things could have happened, but it would have been a service failure if they didn't see him at all. But they saw him for over 30 seconds. Over 30 seconds. Some say 2 minutes. Some said there were 7 shots fired. Some have rumors of a second shooter, and whatnot. So, like I said, the only reason I'm really looking into this is because I wanted to be a soldier, and then I like to like explore security apparatus and look at things like threat assessment and everything. So yeah, that's why I took serious. I want to say it wasn't serious. I didn't go out of my way to do it. Really during my break times. I look at people's reactions, third party opinions. So they try to link BlackRock to the guy. I don't entirely think that adds up. It could be a huge coincidence, which I strongly believe is a huge coincidence. I mean, if they're going to use him for something like this years later, why put him on a TV commercial in the first place? It does not make any sense. So I feel he acted independently of BlackRock, and the Black company should not be dragged along. So yes, that's it basically. I did my research on how to think critically. Um, I basically am decluttering my video storage. Basically, watching a couple of old videos while because I've already done some programming work. Basically, like I said, watching some program videos to see just get knowledge on different things because that's something that I think is super important. Having a wide array of interests as a high value man. So I think I'm getting better at this whole not caring thing. So I think I scheduled a meeting with my new assistant. I think he was unable to come in. So there is a high chance he'll be coming in tomorrow. He's coming in with my previous assistant. He's recommended by him, but he's pleading me not to use him as a yardstick to measure the second person. And I feel like that's something about having an open mind. Is that yes, 5 and 6 birds of the same feathers. But sometimes it's about taking that risk. Because I have new clients who basically took a risk with me. Has not seen me before. He made transactions of millions of naira based off recommendation, and I delivered. And like I said, it's about having that trust. And it's a pity that a lot of Nigerians have spoiled the image, and somehow I think it's up to me to fix a part of that image. So I've been having these thoughts come to me lately about the idea of creating content, and at the same time I'm having this idea of making everything simple. And then I've gotten to realize that creating content is not about creating better looking content. It's about creating something that is creative. Like it's first of all, it's a creation. It comes from within. And why I'm heavily looking into this is because I've been studying Rick Rubin for a while. I want to realize is that he understands the idea behind creation. That Drake cannot have a better album than Meek Mill because it's Drake's album, it's Meek Mill's album. What you have is Drake selling more than Meek Mill. I mean, I just used those two because those are the first that came to my head. So the point is, when you take a step back and look at what people have created to this point, you get to realize that there's no rule to creation. The only rule is to create. And some of the most creative talks I've seen is you have to create from within. You have to feel it. It's not something you necessarily think about. It has to come from within. So the fashion designer has to be led by her spirit. And I've noticed the same thing when I'm doing my project and I ask myself, this code works. How did I do it? And I think I've been making a video on the different levels of focus because I think it's easier for me to get into flow state. And I do that when I'm working. I enter this meditative state where I'm just working. I'm not entirely sure I can recall some codes, but I'm writing code and everything is clicking. But when I come back some time ago and realize that, how did I make this work? Sometimes I really can't remember. So it's the same way about creating content. Is that if I can put myself in that situation where one is easy, it's a low friction thing, and I can get myself into that zone of creating, I think it will do wonders. So one project I'm working on is creating short form content because I've thought about it critically. The idea of me creating content is to share my journey. So what that means is I have to share my journey to as many people as possible. And ironically, a lot of content is consumed in short form platforms. So if I'm saying things that I don't have to script, I just have an idea in my head. I grab my phone, I sit down and I just release the content. It's going to help the algorithm. It's going to help the movement. And the movement is just to form a brotherhood of guys who buy into the concept of becoming well-rounded men, becoming full-stack men. Because I say that the average man of today is going through a lot. And guess what? Society does not care that he's going through a lot. They expect him to show up every single time. Nobody wants to be with an average man. No companies don't want average men. Or worst case scenario, they find it easy to replace. And they don't really care. They are only used. Women don't want average men. Now the funny part now is that the definition of an average man keeps expanding, keeps getting funny, keeps getting different time by time. Before it could be based on how much you earned, before it could be based on your strength, but it keeps shifting. So I say, instead of being just jacked, what if you are jacked and you have some money? But it's not just about having money. What if you also have to be intellectually stimulating? Because I mean, these days we have a lot of women who enjoy going back to back. Ah, I just remember I met one very attractive lady yesterday, Mei. That's her name, And then she was basically giving some nice ideas. Although I could see holes in her statement. But in the very end, she's very intellectual, very smart. And like I said, I saw, I don't say they were because I still have some ideas I'm processing in my head. But basically, she has fancy ideas. I really hope she can live up to those ideas, or if those ideas are practical. So something I was keen on was we brought up the conversation of women having things outside of the family. I say, yeah, I support that. I fully support that. But at the same time, we should not look down on women who make their family their sole purpose. Because something I looked at in the men of the past, I would say first with my dad, is he was very masculine. And then he took it upon his responsibility to provide, not just for his family, but for everyone around him. And I think I was listening to a podcast where a guy mentioned masculinity doesn't have to do with yourself. It's more about the society. It's more about the society and everything. And I don't want to go into details with that, but it basically is like the firefighters came to put off a fire in the building he was. They put off the fire. They stayed there for about 30 minutes to make sure everything was all right. Everybody was okay. And when they just left like that, like they took joy in it. Same thing my dad. He took that joy in making sure that his kids had everything they needed. Although that's topic for another day, and I'm super grateful because he did his best. Yeah, he did his best for a lot of people who maybe stabbed him in the back, but regardless, he taught me this idea of forgive and forget. But it's different from what people do. What that means is, if I forgive you, I might as well forget you. Because why? You really do not matter in the grand scheme of things. So it's something that adults go deep into because, first of all, if I start it, it will be beyond my limit for the journal. And if I continue, you might misconceptualize my point there. And then she said something about how I said something of the opinion that 50-50 sounds like a very nice idea, but it's not practical. And he says, oh, that men don't understand the concept of 50-50. Men believe 50-50 only comes to finances. That 50-50 could also includes raising the kids. I said, okay, let's think about this. Let's look at families that have dads who are just present, who just provide money and just nothing more. You get to realize that those kids are better off than kids who didn't have dads at all. So what that means is dads play an invincible role. And it's a thought I've been playing with, and the thought says that dads play an invincible role quite alright, which people don't really value because they believe it is just provision. But he leads by example. If he's masculine, he leads by example. He leads from a distance. While the mom is giving unconditional love, dad can say, with the path this child is heading on, that is, if he's a man who is of character and principle, he will say, if with the path this child is taking, things will not turn out right for him because he understands certain things as a man. He leads by example. Like I said, I'm referring to men of characters and principles. And then I'm not entirely sure because we got distracted because I was dropping her off, and then we had to park somewhere which was not entirely safe. So we switched conversations. But I feel like I've gotten an Instagram handle. I feel we might continue our conversation because I really think sometimes the guys don't listen to the girls and the girls don't listen to the guys because of everybody has their guns at each other. But I said no. In the end, if you understand the concept of Universe 25 is a project, that's what's playing out right now. So it all starts with what do you want to achieve in life, and are you able to bear the consequences of that? If you're not able to bear the consequences, then I'm sorry, you shouldn't blame people for the choices you make in life. So please, this is already 9:03 p.m. I'm trying to make a call. I think I have 2 meetings this evening. After the 2 meetings, I have to go back and ensure that the number I've been working with works perfectly. So thank you very much for tuning in. Talk to you soon, and bye for now. Thank you.